Hey everybody, welcome to this video. If you've come to this video to learn how to prepare your JDM Kei Car for a track day, then I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place. All jokes aside, today we are going to prepare the Kei Works for a up-and-coming track day. By no means am I a professional driver. Disclaimer, I'm not professional at this. There's going to be things I miss. There's going to be things I probably do that I shouldn't do, and things that I do that other people don't do, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into this. I've got my trusty whiteboard here, so we will make a list of things we're going to do. These are the tire pressures from last track day. I think I've basically written them on here so I don't forget, but I'm probably going to start some kind of spreadsheet probably for setting or setup for the car. But anyway, in this video, we are going to do so in no particular order. So I've made a list of things we are going to do today. No particular order to this. So first we're going to start in the engine bay because that's a relatively easy thing to do. It's going to be engine oil. We're just going to check the engine oil. Now I do know that I have used some engine oil. It is getting lower on the dipstick, it's no longer on full. Now I've been beating on this K6A for a few track days now, a couple of track days, and then obviously general day-to-day use. I'm not sure if that's an issue with K6As, whether they do use oil, but to be honest with you, I'm not at all surprised that I've used a little bit of oil because like I said, two track days is kind of obviously beating the engine a little bit. So yeah, a little bit of oil, so we'll just top up the oil, make sure it's at the right level. Second of all, brake fluid. Now I'm going to put a star next to this and we'll come back to that one and you'll see why in a little bit. But okay, brake fluid. Next is coolant. I'm just going to check that the coolant is at the right level in the reservoir. Looking at it from afar, it looks okay, so I don't think there's going to be an issue with that, but it's a good thing to just check. Other than that, just a general check over the engine bay, check nothing's loose. Probably just check the intake. It's a bit worried about that because it's kind of a little bit of a bodge job on my behalf, but it should be okay. Looks okay. So anyway, on to the next thing is wheels and tires. We're gonna just check the wheels. Actually, wheels I'm going to put a little star next to. Again, we'll come back to that. Tires, we just want to check that the general condition of the tires is good. They were brand new this year. They've only done 2 track days and general driving around, so already I'm pretty sure there's going to be no issues, but it's a good thing to check over them. Probably check the tire pressures as well, though we will check again at the track for that. Next is under the car. We're just going to have a quick look under the car, make sure nothing is amiss. Should be okay at the moment. I drove it the other day. There's no knocks, bangs, creaks or anything, so I'm pretty sure there's not going to be an issue there. But again, it's always important to check, just a general check over the car, just to make sure nothing's loose. Then we're going to get the car ready. So I've just marked as tools, but that's actually going to be loading up the car probably. Last one is personal prep. Again, that's more about getting my race suit together and everything. I'm not going to go into too much details about the tools and the personal prep, but I will just show you kind of loading up and maybe just give you a general overview of things I take. Again, there's things that I probably should take that I don't, and there's probably things that I take that I don't need to take. But hey, you know, it's all a lesson for me. I'm learning here. So yeah, we'll get back to that one. That'll be the last thing to do, I should imagine. Anyway, let's head back to these 2 blue stars. I've got a column for extras. So extras, you might say, what does this mean? Well, I have got a couple of new parts to fit to the Kei Works. Let's have a look. So I've invested in some braided brake lines. Now, I've not had an issue per se with the braking. I'm pretty happy with the braking. The only thing is there is a slight sponge to it. Now that could be a number of things, but I'm hoping it's going to be these brake lines. Now on the GTR, I upgraded to braided brake lines when I had the OEM Brembos, and of course the new 35 Brembos on their braided lines are standard anyway. But on the GTR, it has a brake stopper. I don't know what the correct term for it is, but basically it's a bracket that fixes onto the back of the master cylinder. So kind of any movement from you pushing the brake, any actual movement in the system is eliminated. It kind of braces it in place, so to speak. And on top of that, obviously the braided lines. Now the brakes in the GTR, the pedal is really firm. It's actually probably one of the best cars I've driven for brake feel. So I'm hoping to maybe achieve that in this car, I think that would probably give me just a little bit more confidence going into braking in the corner. So yeah, so we've got some brake lines from APP. It seemed to be a fairly popular brand in Japan. They are made in Japan. I personally haven't heard of APP before, but they are specifically made for the kind of Works, Alto Works, Kei Works line. So yeah, excited to fit these. The quality of them actually looks beautiful, to be honest. I'm very impressed with the quality. So yeah, that's what we're going to fit. So we are going to obviously need to flush the brake fluid. Now I hope I have enough brake fluid. I wanted to get some more today, but unfortunately Autobax was closed, or closed by the time I got there. So if we don't have enough, we're going to be in a bit of trouble, because I don't know when the next time I can get to Autobax is, and I've got less than a week to the track day. So we'll see how we get on with that. Next is obviously wheels. The wheels are going to have to come off for me to fit these. So this would generally be checking of the torque of the wheel nuts. But on to the next extras. And I've bought myself some spacers. I've got some 5mm spacers here, so I'm going to fit them onto the car. Well, I'm going to say fit, I'm going to test fit. I'm not sure if I actually want to run these or not, to be honest. I'm still in two minds, but I think I want to try. But I need to see how they fit first. I'm just worried that it might affect the rubbing of the tyre on the inner arch. So they're only 5mm, so it's not a huge jump up, but I've seen on a couple of forums in Japan that 5mm space is pretty good for this size wheel that I'm running. So yeah, let's maybe get these on, see how they look, see how they feel, and then go from there. These, of course, again, are in with the wheels checking. Okay, so that is the list of things to do. Like I said, I'm going to start with these, the engine oil coolant. We'll do that first, and then we will get the car up on the lifts. That's when we can do the braided lines, the spacers, the wheels, the brake fluid, tires, and underbody. So let's have a look. Okay, here is the engine bay. So first thing we need to do is probably grab a torch. Looking at the coolant, how well can you see that? Maybe not so well. Yeah, so the coolant, if you can see that, it is at the full mark, so there's no issue with that. So straight away, that's one done. Let's tick that off. Done. Engine oil. So let's check the engine oil. So I would say that's a good 5mm below the full mark there. So we'll just wipe that off and just double check that. Yeah. As you can see, let's get it to focus if we can. Yeah, that's a good 5mm below the full. So let's sling a little bit of oil in here. We're going to go with some Castrol Edge 5W30. That's what's recommended. Now I can already see what's going to happen, because this is going to go everywhere. What's going to be the best way to do this? Like this. I need to maybe treat myself to a spout or funnel. I'm loading a little bit. It's not a huge engine, so let's see where that sits us. Let's get that wiped up, the excess. Okay, while that drains down to the bottom, we can wait for that to raise the level up. In the meantime, I just want to show you this. So originally I didn't have this hose. This hose is connected to a small kind of trumpet here. And that originally went straight into the airbox, the original airbox there. Now what I've done is I've cut the pipe in the hope that the air will be directed straight into this air intake. Now I was a little bit worried about the heat, kind of getting a little bit of heat soak into the air intake. So I've done that in the attempt to hopefully provide it with just a little bit more of direct cold air. What I was trying to do, as you can see by this Pioneer box, which is what the speakers came in, I was designing some kind of small, it's sat actually in here, with the idea is that it would take the air, taper into there to kind of like force the air into an angle, push it back, and then this end would go directly into that trumpet. that was the plan, but I kind of was getting a little bit annoyed by cutting all these bits of cardboard, getting it all to line up, and it's kind of a bit of a faff. I want to revisit this, but I thought, well, I remembered I had a little bit of hose. So I've put this little bit of hose here. Now, as you can see, it's not huge. It's probably 25 mil ID. Now, it's not, I know it's not going to force a huge amount of air into the air intake. I'm hoping it will be a little enough. So when the bonnet closes, there's actually a gap here of, I don't know, 15 mil gap here. And I'm hoping the air, I mean, originally that's what must have happened, is the air would be kind of forced into here, into that trumpet. Although it's not directed at the air, it would then suck it into the air inbox. Well, I'm hoping this little bit of pipe here is just going to feed the cold air, the little bit of cold air that does come into here, straight into that trumpet. Now I've put the pipe straight into here, up and into here. Now if I blow into this pipe, I can feel the air coming out of here. So there is some amount of gain to be had there, although I know it's not like an actual cold air intake. I've been looking at maybe putting a hole in the bumper somewhere, but I just wanted to explore not putting holes in just for now. And then probably what I'll do is over the winter, that's when I'll start to look at maybe cutting a hole somewhere and directing some cold air straight in with a actual flexi pipe. So with the engine oil topped up now, waiting for that to, you know, level out, the coolant is checked and done. Let's get this car up onto the lifts, and then we can start removing some wheels, and then, yeah, start changing these brake lines. So with the car up in the air now, it gives me a good opportunity to have a look around underneath. I've checked most things are nice and tight, so there's no issues that I can see at the moment, other than the bush on the end of this shock absorber and this one probably have seen better days. So I think that's going to be something that I need to add to the Christmas list. Hopefully Father Christmas will bring me something in the form of coilovers. Would be nice, please. But yeah, I've checked also the exhaust. I was wondering if I had a leak somewhere, but I can't see anything obvious at the moment. All the bolts are tight, so I don't think there's an issue there. So next thing I need to do is drop it back down again. It's on the highest setting on the quick jack, so that's good for crawling under. Oh, good for crawling under things. But to do these wheels, well, actually, I think I might leave it at this height, because I think this is a good height to get the wheels off and do those brake lines. So yeah, I'm going to leave it this height, and yeah, let's get this stuff off. So all four wheels off now, gives us a good chance to actually inspect the brakes. So of course, you know, I changed these, well, not too long ago. So yeah, as you'd expect, they're pretty good condition. The pad is sticking in there pretty good. Lots of meat left on that pad. So yeah, I've been around, checked the others, they all look good. So basically we need to change the brake line. The brake line starts here. It travels up behind this coilover and up to here. The rears are a little bit different in so much as they're very short. They start here and end here. So I'm thinking I might just replace the rears, because that looks very easy to do. I've probably jinxed it now. So let's do the rears first. So run into the first hurdle. These brake lines don't fit. I don't know why, they're just totally the wrong format for this car. I'll show you. So there's 4 in here. Obviously 2 long ones go on the front of the car. The 2 shorter ones have this fitting on the top, which aligns to this fitting here, which is, you know, okay. However, the rears have some kind of banjo washer, crush washer setup, and as you can see in the box, there are the ends. Basically, you've got 2 ends. That's one type of end. The other type of end, neither of them fit this car. So not sure what happened there. I'll have to double check the part numbers, but I'm pretty sure I've got them right. So unfortunately, no brake lines this time. So we've got the wheels off, so I guess it's just sling the wheels back on. However, we're going to stick some spacers on first and see how that goes. Obviously there's lots of talk about whether you should run spacers or not, what type of spacers you should run, hub-centric. These are hub-centric. Lots of people say get the ones with the lip on the inside because that helps centralize your wheel. But I mean, from OEM, these wheels don't actually have a central hub to sit on to align them. People say that carries the weight. I don't think that does. That really just centers. The weight is carried by these. So as long as I get these aligned correctly, I mean, these nuts are conical anyway, so that helps centralize the wheel. So as long as I get everything aligned, nipped up in a nice format, I don't see there being an issue, touch wood. So basically I just need to figure out this spacer fits a couple of different wheel types, and I think that's going to be the one for us. So yeah, as long as I get this centralized. I do think there's a little bit of dirt on there. So yeah, just get this centralized and then get the wheel on, and then let's see how that looks. There isn't a great deal of movement on there, so I'm pretty sure it's going to sit pretty central. Looks pretty good. There's plenty of thread to be had, so I'm not worried about there not being enough thread. Let's see what that looks like. Like I said, just do it in a cross format and just make sure everything gets pulled in straight then. That's on there now. Looks pretty good. 5mm, I'm pretty sure that sits pretty nice there. So let's get some on the front and then we'll do the rest, and let's see how it sits then. So we've got the wheels back on, all the wheels, all 4 of them anyway. I can't notice the difference at the moment. I'm not sure whether you will see the difference anyway. Maybe you can on the rear wheel there. Yeah, just. So let's get it off the quick jacks, then we can actually see how it sits when it's down. Let's also update this board. Spacers is done, brake fluid, so I can check the level of it. The level looks okay, probably a little bit high, but it's okay. That's done. Engine oil, we need to just check the level of that. Wheels checked, tires checked, under the car checked. So it's just going to be tools and prep. Braided lines, you're going to have to come back to. So that is the car down now. Might need to settle just a little bit more. The front, I can definitely see a wider stance on the front. It is just inside the wheel arch still. What I need to do is probably go lock to lock and just make sure it's not going to hit anything. It shouldn't do, but we'll see. The rears, yeah, they look about the same, to be honest. I can't see a great deal of difference on the rear. There's the rear for you. It's still just inside, but yeah, the fronts you can definitely see They are bang on the edge now. I'm pretty sure it'll still pass Shaq-en because they aren't protruding, but yeah, definitely is a more aggressive stance. I can see that for sure. So I'm just going to go around now and do a final check of the torque on the wheels. Next is just loading up the car ready with some tools and bits and pieces. And how are we doing for time? Yeah, we're doing pretty good. So it's 10:30, or sorry, 11:30. Perhaps I do need to go to bed. Yeah, so we'll get everything cleared up, get the wheels torqued just to be sure, and then yeah, go from there. So first things first is a toolbox. Basic tools is enough. Now Owada is not super far from my home, so if I did kind of get into a bit of a pickle, there's no real issue. I can kind of get home to get something else that I need to then take back again. It's not the end of the world. However, having a set of tools is really handy, just for the off chance. Even things like electrical tape, cable ties. I know we always joke about cable tie fabrication, but cable ties can get you out of a pinch in many ways. So a toolbox with a good set of tools. You haven't got to carry everything. You can't carry everything. You just need to limit yourself. So all of my tools fit into this one box. It's quite heavy, but the tools that I need, I'm pretty sure I've got. I do have another set of a socket set which lives in another box, which you'll see in a little bit. So yeah, that's the first thing that goes in my car. So tools are in this. So next thing is this green box. So in the green box, I've got my socket set. I've also got tire inflator. I've also got my torque bar. I've also got my breaker bar in there. That all lives in this box. Something else I like to take with me is my jack, because you never know if you want to get yourself jacked up. At least I've got my own. I'm pretty sure they've got one at the circuit that you could probably borrow, but I'd rather have my own. I know how to use it. It's safe, and yeah, there we are. So here we are with the list. Engine oil, I've checked that is perfect now. I just put the right amount in there, so I'm happy with that. So that's done. Brake fluid, I've checked, that's good. Coolant is good, wheels good, tires good. Under the car we checked, tools are now in, so that's good to go. Braided lines, obviously a bit of a blunder on my behalf maybe, but we need to probably get them sent back and get the right ones out to us. So last is personal prep. So basically that's just a case of I get my helmet, my suit, my shoes in here, and gloves. Long sleeves is mandatory at Owada, so I just use a suit just because it's easier. Gloves is mandatory, helmet of course is mandatory, and shoes, I like those shoes. There's a really nice feel for them. So that goes in here. Of course, my audio equipment, that's kind of on top of personal thing. These are now the extras, nice to have. I put my audio equipment in here, so the sound recorder, the GoPros, batteries, spare batteries for those. Now, I'm not going to wash the car. It was washed and I've only used it a few times since then, so that's not really on the top of my list. What I will be doing is Rain-X on the front of the window. It just really helps if it does start to drizzle or something. Having that Rain-X on the windscreen just really helps. They are new window wipers on here, but having that Rain-X kind of, as you're going at speed, it kind of just falls off straight away. You've got no worry there. So I will apply some Rain-X to the front of this. So there you are. This is my kind of list of things I do for preparation for track days. It's not an exhaustive list. There are things I know there are things that I didn't record, just random checks of bits and pieces really. But I think I generally covered most things that you would want to check. Now, this car has already been on track, so there are things that I've already done to prepare this car for track, such as changing the oils, changing the brake fluid, changing the discs and pads. Tires is another thing. So there are things that I've already done on this car that if you were taking your car for the first time to a track, you would probably want to do. But like I said, I've already done it to this. So yeah, if you found this video interesting, please do give it a thumbs up. And if there's anything you would add to this list, please do add a comment down. If there's anything you would do extra or something that I do that you don't do, yeah, I'm here to learn. So yeah, I want to improve my track experience. So please do share your experience. I'd love to hear your experiences of your track time. So yeah, please do let me know. So as it stands, it is now 10 to 12 or 10 to midnight. So I really need to start thinking about going to bed. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Next video might be a track day. So yeah, anyway, hang around for that, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.